As the wargaming industry continues to thrive, 2026 promises to be another bumper year. But which 5 games am I most looking forward to getting on the tabletop? Released into the dying embers of 2025, Kings of War 4th edition is going to catch fire in 2026. The new edition of this fast-paced ranks and flanks fantasy game is accompanied by the unveiling of a very cool new army, essentially werewolf samurai. I've already painted my first few Zakali warriors and I am already in love with these guys. There's also this excellent starter set combining the Zakali with an equally cool Trident Realms force. You also get a 4th edition mini rulebook to get you started. With Alessio Cavatore, the original designer of the game, back on writing duties, there have been a few subtle changes to the system. For example, melee units no longer bounce off each other, and ranged attacks are seen more as a supplement to the main melee mashup. Both of these changes make sense to me. I've never understood why units would hit each other and then bounce off again, and it encourages players to think really carefully about the positioning of their forces before they get stuck into the action. I really expect Kings of War to do well in 2026 and can't wait to see what Mantic release next for this setting. As a little bonus, I want to mention another Mantic game that I think will flourish in 2026, which is Halo Flashpoint. Ronnie Renton, who couldn't keep a secret if you paid him, love you Ronnie, don't ever change, has already let slip that grunts and jackals are inbound for the game. That gives us a really good mix of models. Now, I love this system. I love the scenery, the models, the rules, but I would really like to see a fully fledged war game. So fingers crossed that maybe a year from now, that's a game that I'll be talking about. Drop Zone Commander has been one of my favourite games for many years now. And with epic scale gaming enjoying a bit of a resurgence in recent years, I think that the upcoming 3rd edition of the game could be where it gains more traction and broadens its player base. TT Combat, the company who now produces the game, has been making the transition from resin to plastic models. And we've already seen from Drop Fleet Commander, another game set in the same Commander universe, just how lovely these can be. Some early publicity for the 3rd edition of the game has shown off new sculpts for the teeny tiny infantry in this game. And I expect that as we move closer to the release date, we'll see some more fantastic images. I also expect there to be an awesome new 2-player starter set. Drop Zone has always done this really well, including not just a great mix of minis, but also a map and buildings. So with this new edition, I expect nothing less. David Lewis, the genius behind the original game, has promised to take the best features of 1st and 2nd edition and combine them for some fast-paced sci-fi fun. If you've ever played a real-time strategy game on the computer and fancied playing something similar on a tabletop, then keep an eye out for 3rd edition Drop Zone Commander. Another bonus here, seeing as how it's the festive season. In 2026, TT Combat are also planning to release their first heroic scale games into the Commander universe. Strike Team Commander creates intense interior battles. Think special forces storming a building, only with aliens. Battlezone Commander uses the same models, but a different rule set to take the action out onto the streets. This will be a game where you have a handful of infantry units on each side and maybe just 1 or 2 vehicles. That means that their presence on the board is really significant. They degrade gradually with damage, and managing to swarm one and to destroy it is a really big deal. I saw the minis for these games at UK Games Expo and they are looking fantastic. Add in the really cool scenery that TT Combat produces as well, and in 2026, things are looking really good for the Commander universe. For several years now, one-page rules have been offering a refuge to those who love the grimdark, but not the elaborate rules and constant updates of GW's flagship games. After several years refining simple rules, which focus on fun while providing options for extra complexity, and expanding a range of 3D printable models, the makers of OPR are now looking to establish a presence in gaming stores. Last year's GameFound campaign for Broken Truth, a 2-player starter set, raised over $500,000 from more than 2,000 backers. That's a good number of people to swell the ranks of those already playing the game, and I'm sure that once the wider gaming community gets a look at this set, more people will be interested. One key feature is that the models are plastic and arrive fully assembled. I managed to get my hand on some of the prototypes and have seen just how much character they have. They aren't overburdened with fiddly details, but the silhouettes are really distinct and well designed. I think that's a great choice for a large-scale game. And you really do get enough models for the Saurian Star Host and Robot Legions to play some good-sized games. Compared to some other starter sets on the market, Broken Truth gives you both a lot of models and a really great range of units. Hard War is a 6mm sci-fi wargame that provides further evidence that as you hit middle age, your taste in tiny soldiers gets even tinier. Last year, Modifius Entertainment ran a crowdfunding campaign to get this game up and running, but they've promised it will hit regular channels too, and given the number of other games that they produce, I'm confident that this will be the case. A prior iteration of Hard War already had a small but avid fan base. Modifius have given it a major glow up with a new edition of the rules, gorgeous art and some lovely new minis. These models are going to be produced at Modifius's own factory, which shows just how serious these guys are about establishing a bigger presence in the wargaming hobby. I'm a big fan of the Battletech IP, but find the classic rules a little bit too clunky for my current gaming buddies, whilst Alpha Strike, though it is arcadey fun, is a little bit too simple. Hard War features some really interesting rules. It uses D12s and it's a hit system where the target number is equal to the distance in inches between units. I'm really hoping that it might occupy that middleweight space that I'm looking for with a mech-based game. The quick start rules for the game are available to download on Modifius's website if you're interested in checking out the game. The final game on my list is Carnevale. I saw some painted models for this game a while back and they are absolutely beautiful. A few weeks ago, a new starter set was released and my resolve crumbled. The game contains 2 small starter gangs, the first plastic models for the game, along with rules, tokens and the scenery that you need to get started amidst the back alleys and streets of Venice. The game is set in the late 18th century, where dark Cthulhu-esque magic has seeped into the world, corrupting things and awakening dark forces from the depths of the ocean. It all looks really intriguing and is supported with a new range of chroma pre-coloured scenery. I can't wait to get this stuff painted and on the table. In fact, in true gaming style, I couldn't help but add a few extra models to the production line. So there's my list. I found this video great fun to make, but it was really tricky trying to stick to 5 games. In fact, I realised that I didn't quite stick to 5 games. There are so many awesome systems and so many fantastic games that have either just been released or will be coming out soon. Please let me know in the comments which games you are most looking forward to playing in 2026. I hope that you've enjoyed the video. If so, please consider giving it a like or subscribe. I hope to see you again soon. And until then, keep rolling.